Well, obviously, defensively, they did. I thought Coach Palmer did a very good job of preparing our guys, but preparing and telling them what they're going to do. And it's a lot easier as a coach to say, okay, they're going to come off this double screen now, and then they're going to throw the ball in the post and tell them. But when they're just taking it on ball and bouncing, like they do in the NBA, and clearing sides for guys, it just becomes one-on-one defense. And you have to give Irvine a lot of credit. We had no answer for that until, I guess, zone was the only thing that saved us because more just the first half, they were clearing sides for him, and we just didn't have anybody that could keep him in front or not foul him. And the guys that good get going, they're tough to turn off. And yet, I thought until he hit the three towards the end of the game, I think it was his first bucket in the second half. So our guys, I will say that, obviously, as a coach, you got a lot to work on after a game like that. It's a lot easier to work on it after a win. And the second thing is I will give my guys credit for this. One problem we've had is when teams hit us like that is keeping our composure and not panicking and not going off and panicking and going off on our own. And I thought our guys really stayed together when they were frustrated better than they have in the couple years I've been here. And I thought Edis was a big key to that. He really came in, I thought, and showed some leadership and calmed everybody down. And of course, Cass and Larry, did their thing too. So. Well, zone's a lot harder to bounce on, and they're creating everything off the bounce, and yet, for 2 weeks now, we practice zone maybe a half an hour in practice combined in 2 weeks, and I thought our guys really talked and did a good job of adjusting with that, but if you isolate a side against zone, there's two, three guys still incapable of helping. So it helped. But zone also is giving up more threes, and they missed some good looks, against the zone too that maybe would have get us to get out of it. But we were fortunate. There's no question about it. You don't get down 15 early like that, and then they weather a couple storms and still come back, and we left too much of this game for them to dictate, and for us, to grow, we've got to be able to dictate our games, especially at home, better than that. But he is our best middle of the zone guy because he's our best communicator, and so that was helpful too. That he's coming along, man, but. Wise is a tough matchup for him, so we were able to play him because of the zone. And I just think he wasn't out there during the 15-point barrage, so he didn't have the same frustration as maybe Gene and TJ and some of these other guys had going into it. It was all defensive oriented. I mean, we rebounded well for the most part till the zone maybe a little bit, but I thought we rebounded well, and I thought offensively it was never a problem, as far as we made good decisions offensively. We got the ball in. We got pretty good shots from the perimeter, although, Greg took a couple tough ones. But it was just all defensive. And when you're taking the ball out of the net, it's very, both ends of the court really, the confidence is the same. If you're getting stops, then it's easier. And so, I think being able to get a couple stops in a row got our heads up offensively, and we were able to break them in transition, because it's a lot easier to fast break off of a rebound than it is taking it out of the net. He said an interesting thing to me about a week before he came back. He said, all the things you tell me in practice, it's so much easier to see them over here watching than being out there. And he said, I'm going to be a better player when I get back, just because I've had to watch all this for a month, and it's a lot easier to see from over here than it is when you're out there and believe it. And I don't know, you have to ask him, but he just seems, the hand almost seems to be helping in the fact that he's not trying to do too much. He's not over penetrating into crowds. He's not trying to take guys, because he's only got one real hand, and he's been very efficient. I didn't think defensively. I think he was too worried about more instead of worried about what we're trying to do, and especially early, and their whole team kind of got going. But you know, he can be a very good defender, and you know, I thought he, again, like he was the other day, first 5 minutes he wasn't as good as after that, but it's so much easier to defend people the first 5 minutes and get them out of rhythm. And we just seen the last 2 games to let people get going so early and get comfortable. And we've somehow at home have got to shut people out early and take control of games. That's the advantage of being at home and not let them get comfortable at your place.